Egypt, the mightiest empire the ancient world had ever seen. Pyramids that touched the sky, armies no nation dared to face, a king worshipped as a living god. But on this night, deep in the slave quarters, an empire meant nothing. A young mother pressed her newborn son against her chest, listening for soldiers in the street, because Pharaoh had given an order. Every Hebrew baby boy was to be thrown into the Nile, and her son was 3 months old. This is the story of how the god of slaves broke the world's greatest empire. This is Exodus, the whole book, from the brick pits of Egypt to the glory on Mount Sinai. 400 years had passed since Joseph brought his family to Egypt. 70 people had come. Now they were a nation, hundreds of thousands strong, and that terrified the new Pharaoh. A king arose who did not know Joseph. He looked at the Hebrews and saw not guests, but a threat. "Come," he said, "let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply and join our enemies and rise against us." So Egypt made the children of Israel slaves. Taskmasters were set over them. They built Pharaoh's store cities, Pithom and Ramses, with brick and mortar and blood. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied. Egypt came to dread the people of Israel, and the bondage grew bitter. Then Pharaoh gave the order that stained the Nile itself. "Every son that is born to the Hebrews you shall cast into the river." And so we return to that mother in the dark. Her name was Jochebed, of the tribe of Levi. For 3 months she had hidden her beautiful son. She could hide him no longer. So she made an ark of bulrushes, sealed it with pitch, and laid her baby inside. She placed it among the reeds at the river's edge and let go. His sister Miriam stood far off, watching what would become of him. What happened next would change the history of the world. The daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe in the river. She saw the basket among the reeds. She opened it, and the baby wept. And the princess of Egypt had compassion on a Hebrew slave child. "This is one of the Hebrews' children," she said. And she chose to defy her father's decree. Miriam stepped forward. "Shall I call a nurse from the Hebrew women?" And so the baby's own mother was paid by Pharaoh's house to raise her own son. The princess named him Moses, because I drew him out of the water. The boy sentenced to drown in the Nile would grow up a prince of Egypt. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's palace. He learned the wisdom of Egypt. He wore its gold. But his blood was the blood of slaves, and he knew it. One day when Moses was grown, he went out to his people and watched their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his brothers. Moses looked this way and that, and when he saw no one, he struck the Egyptian down and hid his body in the sand. The next day he saw 2 Hebrews fighting and tried to part them. But one sneered, "Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Will you kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Moses was afraid. The thing was known. And when Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. The prince of Egypt became a fugitive overnight. Moses fled to the land of Midian, a wilderness of shepherds and stone. 40 years of palaces were behind him. 40 years of silence lay ahead. At a well in Midian, he defended the 7 daughters of a priest from harsh shepherds and watered their flock. The priest's name was Jethro. Jethro gave Moses his daughter Zipporah as a wife. She bore him a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have been a stranger in a strange land." And there the story might have ended. A forgotten prince, tending another man's sheep at the edge of the world. But far away in Egypt, the groaning never stopped. The king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried out. And their cry came up unto God, and God heard their groaning. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Heaven was about to move. Moses led the flock to the far side of the wilderness, to Horeb, the mountain of God. He was 80 years old, and on that ordinary day he saw it. A bush was burning with fire, and the bush was not consumed. Moses said, "I will turn aside and see this great sight." And when the Lord saw that he turned aside, God called to him out of the midst of the bush, "Moses, Moses." And he said, "Here am I." "Draw not near. Put off your shoes from your feet, for the place whereon you stand is holy ground. I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. I have surely seen the affliction of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cry. I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them. Come now, therefore, and I will send you unto Pharaoh, that you may bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." Moses said, "Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh? A runaway murderer, a shepherd, an old man with a staff." And God answered, "Certainly I will be with you." Then Moses asked the question no man had ever dared. "When they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say?" And God said unto Moses, "I am that I am. Say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations." But Moses argued, "They will not believe me." So God gave him signs. "Cast your staff on the ground," and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. "Take it by the tail," and it became a staff again in his hand. Then his hand turned leprous as snow, and was healed again in a moment. Still Moses resisted. "O my Lord, I am not eloquent. I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue." "Who made man's mouth?" God answered. "Now therefore go, I will be with your mouth." And when Moses begged, "Send anyone else," the anger of the Lord was kindled. Yet God gave him a helper. "Aaron your brother is coming to meet you. He shall be your spokesman." So Moses took his wife and his sons, and set them upon a donkey, and returned toward the land of Egypt. In his hand, the staff of God. Aaron met him in the mount of God, and kissed him. Together they gathered the elders of Israel, and Aaron spoke all the words, and did the signs before the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that the Lord had looked upon their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped. Hope had entered Egypt. Then came the day. 2 old men, a shepherd and his brother, walked into the throne room of the most powerful king on earth. "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness." And Pharaoh said the words that would cost Egypt everything. "Who is the Lord, that I should obey his voice? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go." That same day, Pharaoh struck back. "These people are idle. No more straw shall be given them to make brick, yet the number of bricks shall not diminish." So the people scattered across Egypt, gathering stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters beat the Hebrew foreman, demanding, "Why have you not fulfilled your task?" The foreman of Israel turned on Moses. "The Lord look upon you and judge. You have made us a stench in the eyes of Pharaoh. You have put a sword in their hand to slay us." And Moses returned unto the Lord, broken. "Lord, why have you dealt ill with this people? Why did you send me? You have not delivered your people at all." Then said the Lord unto Moses, "Now shall you see what I will do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. I am the Lord. I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, and I have remembered my covenant. I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and with great judgments. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83, when they spoke unto Pharaoh. What followed was not a negotiation. It was a war between the gods of Egypt and the God of Israel. Aaron cast down his staff before Pharaoh, and it became a serpent. Pharaoh called his magicians, and their staffs became serpents too. But Aaron's serpent swallowed them all. Yet Pharaoh's heart was hardened. He would not listen. So the judgment began at the river where Hebrew babies had drowned. Moses met Pharaoh at the brink of the Nile. Thus saith the Lord, in this you shall know that I am the Lord. And Aaron lifted the staff and smote the waters, and all the waters of Egypt were turned to blood. The fish died. The river stank in every stream, every pool, every vessel of wood and stone. Blood. 7 days passed. Then came the second plague, frogs, from the river in numbers no man could count, into houses, into beds, into ovens and kneading troughs. Pharaoh summoned Moses, entreat the Lord that he take away the frogs, and I will let the people go. It was the first crack in the God-king's armor. Moses cried unto the Lord. The frogs died. Egypt gathered them in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw there was respite, he hardened his heart. Then the dust of the land became gnats, on man and on beast, through all of Egypt. The magicians tried to copy it and failed. This is the finger of God, they told Pharaoh. Next came the flies, dense swarms that filled the houses of Egypt and darkened the ground. But in Goshen, where the children of Israel dwelt, there were no flies at all. For the first time, God drew a line in the land. I will put a division between my people and your people. Egypt could no longer pretend this was chance. Pharaoh bargained, go, but not far. Then when the flies departed, he hardened his heart again. He would not let the people go. And the plagues grew deadlier. The fifth plague struck Egypt's wealth. A grievous pestilence fell upon the livestock, the horses, the donkeys, the camels, the herds, and the flocks. But of the cattle of Israel, not one died. Then Moses took ashes of the furnace and sprinkled them toward heaven. And boils broke forth upon man and beast through all the land. Even the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. The wise men of Egypt were finished, but Pharaoh's heart only grew harder. Then the Lord sent a warning unlike any before. Tomorrow I will cause it to rain, a very grievous hail. Gather your cattle, for every man and beast left in the field shall die. And those among Pharaoh's servants who feared the word of the Lord brought their servants and cattle indoors. Even in Egypt, some had begun to believe. Then the Lord sent thunder and hail, and fire ran along the ground. Hail, such as there was none like it in all Egypt since it became a nation. It smote every herb of the field and broke every tree. Only in the land of Goshen was there no hail. Pharaoh sent for Moses. I have sinned this time, the Lord is righteous. But when the thunder ceased, he sinned yet more and hardened his heart. So Moses stretched forth his staff, and the east wind brought the locusts. They covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. They ate every herb, every fruit, everything the hail had left. Nothing green remained in all of Egypt. Then came a darkness that could be felt. 3 days. No man saw his brother, neither rose any from his place. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. The sun Egypt's greatest god, Ra himself, had been blotted out by the god of slaves. Pharaoh summoned Moses one last time. "Get thee from me, take heed to thyself, see my face no more, for in that day thou seest my face, thou shalt die." And Moses said, "Thou hast spoken well, I will see thy face again no more." Then the Lord said unto Moses, "Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go. He will thrust you out altogether. About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh on his throne to the firstborn of the maidservant at the mill." But for Israel, God gave a way of escape, and it began with a lamb. Every household shall take a lamb without blemish, and the whole assembly shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood, and strike it on the two side posts and the upper door post. And ye shall eat it in haste, your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, your staff in your hand. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you. The plague shall not be upon you to destroy you. This night would be remembered forever, the Passover. 3,500 years later, it is remembered still. And it came to pass, at midnight, the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all Egypt. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. The king, who had ordered Hebrew sons drowned in the Nile, now stood over the body of his own firstborn. The empire's heart broke at midnight. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron by night. "Rise up, get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel. Go, serve the Lord, as ye have said. Take your flocks and your herds and be gone, and bless me also." The living God of Egypt was begging the blessing of slaves, and Egypt was urgent upon the people to send them out in haste. "We be all dead men," they said. The Egyptians gave them jewels of silver and gold, and raiment, whatever they asked. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, beside women and children. After 430 years, Israel walked out of Egypt. They did not leave as fugitives. They marched out with the wealth of Egypt on their shoulders, and the bones of Joseph in their midst, as he had made Israel swear. And the Lord went before them, by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light. God did not lead them by the short road through the land of the Philistines. He led them toward the wilderness, toward the Red Sea, into a trap only he could open. And back in his empty palace, Pharaoh's grief curdled into rage. "Why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us?" He made ready his chariot, and took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, the deadliest army on the face of the earth. And Israel looked up, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. The sea before them, the army behind, nowhere left to run. They turned on Moses. "Were there no graves in Egypt, that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? It had been better for us to serve the Egyptians." And Moses said unto the people, "Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace." The pillar of cloud moved, and stood between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel. Darkness to one side, light to the other, all night long. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land. And the waters were divided. They stood as walls, a wall on the right hand, and a wall on the left. And Israel walked into the midst of the sea on dry ground. All night they crossed, 600,000 men, their families, their flocks, between walls of standing water. And behind them the chariots followed. In the morning watch, the Lord troubled the host of the Egyptians. He took off their chariot wheels. "Let us flee," they cried, "for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians." And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength. The waters covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh. There remained not so much as one of them. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. The empire that held them for 4 centuries was finished. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel, "I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea." And Miriam the prophetess took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. The slaves of Egypt sang as free people, but freedom's road led into the wilderness. 3 days into the desert of Shur, they found no water. And when they came to Marah, the waters were bitter. The people murmured against Moses, and the Lord showed him a tree, and when he cast it into the waters were made sweet. Then they came to Elim, 12 wells and 70 palm trees. But in the wilderness of Sin, hunger came, and the whole congregation murmured, "Would to God we had died in Egypt by the flesh pots, when we did eat bread to the full." Already they missed their chains. But God answered hunger with a miracle. "Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you." In the morning, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small, round thing, small as the hoarfrost. And they said one to another, "Manna, what is it?" It was bread from heaven. Every morning they gathered it, an omer for every man. And at evening quails came up and covered the camp. For 40 years this bread would never fail them. At Rephidim there was again no water, and the people were ready to stone Moses. And the Lord said, "Smite the rock in Horeb," and water came out of the rock. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim, falling upon the weak and the weary at the rear of the column. Israel's first battle as a free people. Moses stood on the top of the hill with the staff of God in his hand. When he held up his hand, Israel prevailed. When he let it down, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. So Aaron and Hur put a stone under him and stayed up his hands, the one on the one side, the other on the other, until the going down of the sun. And Joshua, a young man whose name would one day echo through history, discomfited Amalek with the edge of the sword. Israel had learned to fight and to depend. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came out to him in the wilderness and watched Moses judge the people alone from morning unto evening. "The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away. Provide out of all the people able men, rulers of thousands, of hundreds, of 50s, and of 10s. And Moses hearkened. Israel was becoming a nation. In the 3rd month, they came to the wilderness of Sinai and camped before the mountain where Moses had seen the burning bush. God had kept his sign. And the Lord called unto Moses out of the mountain, "Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, a kingdom of priests and an holy nation." And all the people answered together, "All that the Lord hath spoken we will do." Israel had said yes. Now heaven would come down to the mountain. On the 3rd day there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of a trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people trembled. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. The whole mount quaked greatly. And God spake all these words: I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. 10 commandments, spoken by God himself to an entire nation at once. No other people on earth had ever claimed such a thing, and the people could not bear it. Speak thou with us, and we will hear, they begged Moses. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. So Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. 40 days and 40 nights Moses was in the mount. God gave him laws for the nation, justice for the poor, rest for the land, honesty in judgment, and 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God. But down below the people grew restless. As for this Moses, we wot not what is become of him. And they came to Aaron. Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. And Aaron took their gold, and fashioned it with a graving tool, and made a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. 40 days after hearing the voice of God, they were dancing naked around an idol. On the mountain, God said to Moses, Go, get thee down. Thy people have corrupted themselves. Let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them. And I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses stood between God and Israel. Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt? Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants. And the Lord repented of the evil. But when Moses came down and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger waxed hot. He cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. He burnt the calf in the fire, ground it to powder, strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. That day judgment fell on the camp. 3,000 died. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book. Here stood a man offering his own soul for the people who had betrayed him. And God heard him. My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. Then Moses asked what no man had ever asked. I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And the Lord said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. Behold, there is a place by me, and I will put thee in a cleft of the rock, and cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And the Lord passed by before him, and proclaimed, The Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. 2 new tables of stone were hewn. The covenant was renewed. Israel would live. When Moses came down from the mount, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. He had to veil his face before the people. Then all Israel set to work. God had given the pattern for a sanctuary, a tabernacle, that he might dwell among them. And the people brought so many offerings, Moses had to restrain them. Bezaleel and Aholiab filled with the Spirit of God in wisdom, wrought the Ark of the Covenant, the golden lampstand, the altar, the holy vestments, every piece exactly as the Lord commanded. And on the first day of the first month of the second year, the tabernacle was reared up. A tent of gold and blue and scarlet standing at the heart of the camp. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Not even Moses was able to enter. The God who thundered from Sinai had come to dwell in the middle of the camp. The slaves of Egypt had become the people of God, with heaven itself pitched among their tents. And whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, Israel went onward in all their journeys. By day the cloud, by night the fire, all the way to the promised land, from a baby in a basket to a nation beneath the glory of God. The empire that enslaved them lay in ruins behind, and ahead, a land flowing with milk and honey. But Israel's story was only beginning. Kings would rise, giants would fall, and a shepherd boy with a sling would one day stand before an army. If this brought the story to life for you, subscribe. Next, we unfold First Samuel, the shepherd boy who became Israel's greatest king.